The Buffalo Bills have found themselves another star. Hats off to Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott for finding the answer for what we have been looking for these past few years. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bills Digest. I'm your host, Anthony Senicar. And let's be honest, come Sunday, we want to win. We want some nice hot wings. We want a nice cold Labatt, and we're probably smashing a few tables. And the same way you guys smash those tables come Sunday morning, I want you guys to smash that like and subscribe button. Because take a look at this. 97% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. Let's get that number down. Let's get the subscriber count up. Like, subscribe, join the army, stay in touch here at Bills Digest for all your latest Bills news and Bills takes, because we got you covered. Okay, guys. Well, I think Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott have done it again. The Bills have been looking for a pass rush specialist, a guy to really step up these last few years. They tried with Von Miller, and that failed miserably. They drafted A.J. Epenesa in the second round years ago, and he is a good rotational piece. They drafted Boogie Basham. He's not even on the team anymore. But the man that I want to talk about and who is coming into his own and who is looking like one of the better pass rushers in the league and who needs his flowers and who is slowly becoming a superstar in this league is this man right here, Greg Rousseau. Groot. What a season this guy is having. He is on, right here, 8 sacks on the year and 16 tackles for a loss. He is having himself a sleepery good season. There are a lot of good points. He is one of the premium run defenders in the league. His pass rush rating in the PFF grade is in the upper echelon. He is looking very good this season. The mixture of size and length with and his bend that everybody talks about, these DNs having that bend, he has that. He is looking very, very good on the season. As you can tell, even on the grades here, that he has slowly been getting better and better. I mean, he's only 25 years old, so there's lots of room to get this guy to grow. Again, pass rushers usually get into their prime around the 27 to 30-year-old range, so he still has room to grow. Obviously, he has had a lot of up and downs this season. I mean, look at this. Right here. There's been a lot of games where he's been really, really good, and there's been games where he's disappeared. Consistency is something that is lacking on his end. I think if he steps it up more on consistency, he can be one of the top 10 pass rushers in the league. I think right now, he's at the point where he's a really good second pass rusher. Think like Jerry Hughes to your Mario Williams, your Khalil Mack to your Joey Bosa, your Leonard Floyd to your Nick Bosa. Kind of that second guy who is going to come around the edge, and when one of these A-tier guys are not having a good game, Rousseau will come in and clean up the mess. I think at 25 years old, he's already looking really good. For him to be at 25 and already be at that level of a beat or a second tier pass rusher, I think he can very easily grow into that first tier. I think the Bills did want him to grow into that first tier, and I think bringing in Von Miller was the plan of letting Rousseau develop at a good pace, and I think that plan did work. I think the Von Miller experiment blew up a bit, obviously, with Von Miller kind of tearing his ACL last year. Von Miller, let's not forget, was on a sack per game rate before tearing his ACL. He had that big play against the Chiefs last year to close out the game, which led to the Matt Milano pick. And again, I think even with Von Miller kind of fizzling out, I think Rousseau has really stepped up in a big way. I mean, look at this. Look at the pressure rate with Rousseau from all edge rushers this year. He is 11th in the league with 63 pressures on the season. I mean, he's up there with the likes of Micah Parsons, the other Josh Allen, Danielle Hunter, who's again one of the underrated pass rushers in the league. He's doing better than the likes of Brian Burns, who got a big contract, Max Crosby, who people think is in the upper echelon, Who else is out there? Jalen Carter's another good one. Leonard Williams. He has put himself in the upper echelon of pass rushers. I think once he gets a good consistency on the field, where it's week in and week out, and he's a disruptive force, he will be one of the better pass rushers in the league. I think at his point right now, he still needs another great guy opposite of him. And I think come playoff time, if Von Miller keeps playing at a better pace, these last few weeks he is looking a lot better. I think that the Bills' pass rush will be a scary sight. And I think Rousseau just has a lot of potential with his size, his length. There were points last year, which I think they need to bring back this year, where they had Rousseau lined up on the interior, and the length of his arms on these smaller guards, he was just blowing right by them. And I think the Bills hopefully have been holding that in their back pocket come playoff time. Take advantage of Rousseau's size and strength, move him all over the D-line, kind of throw different looks at these O-lines come playoff time, because you are going to need it. AJ Epenesa has been playing better, and Von Miller has been playing better, and I think it really will give flexibility to utilize Greg Rousseau to his full potential, and I would not be surprised if Rousseau has himself a massive playoff run, because I think he is due for it. I think he's really come on in these last few games. 8 sacks in the season, that is his best in his career so far. I think he has a good chance to get to 10 sacks. I can see him get 2 sacks in the upcoming Patriots game, and I think a 10-sack season will be really, really good just for his confidence, his morale. He's a guy who soaks up a lot of information, being in the same room as obviously Von Miller, being in the same room with Leonard Floyd last year. I think he has really come on and has really developed his game a lot. And now with him being what is considered a star and on the brink of becoming an all-star, maybe a Pro Bowler, looking at his first Pro Bowl, contract negotiations are going to kick in. He obviously is a first-round pick, so he has his fifth-year option for next year. But contract talk is going to come up, because you know what? We got a lot of guys who need to get signed, and I think Rousseau needs to be near the top of that list. You do not let your in-house guys walk. You sign these guys. Now, comparing what a suggested contract is, what is comparable is 24.9 yearly. I think that's maybe a little too much. That would rank him second in defensive ends. I don't think we can put him at second at defensive end. I think something around the $18 to $19 million range, maybe on a shorter term. Give him, quote unquote, a bridge deal to really develop out. You're going to have Josh, who's going to need another contract. You're going to have Shakir, who's going to need another contract. You're going to have Benford, who you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to figure out if you really want to re-sign James Cook, who's having himself a career year. And again, there's going to be other guys, Terrell Bernard. There's a lot of guys on this team. It's good to have all these young guys stepping up and making this retool year a very good year, but there's going to be guys who are going to have to walk and new guys you're going to have to bring in. Again, that leaves a question of what happens with Von Miller next year. I think Rousseau still needs another premium guy on the opposite edge of him. I don't think he's ready to be that disruptive force week to week, because I think he's still kind of growing and figuring out his game. Again, they're suggesting, like I said, 24.9, which is comparable to Max Crosby's big contract he just got. Again, Montez Sweat, Rashawn Gray, DeMont Jones. These guys, I think he's better than probably 3 of those guys. He's not better than Max Crosby, in my opinion. I think Max Crosby did have a down year. But I do think that Rousseau deserves maybe around that $20 to $22 million mark. Look, even comparing the stats to a lot of these guys, Rousseau is better tackles per game. He's leading that pack. Sacks per game, he's that's where it is. Sacks is where Rousseau needs to get his numbers up. He's obviously not the best there, but I think it will come over time. The guy's 25 years old. He's still growing. He's still tons of time. Stops per game and quarterback hurries per game, he's again just below Max Crosby. And again, it really leaves the question of, do you want to sign him for $25 million for long term, lock him up? But then again, that can blow up in your face. Look at Ed Oliver, who has come on in these last few games, but he has been a ghost these past this past season. I think the big contract kind of set expectations super high on him. And again, Rousseau and all these D lineman guys, you don't see what's going on week to week. A lot of these guys are getting double teamed. And I mean, Ed Oliver's a smaller guy, and it's hard for him to get off the double teams. But still, when you're paying a guy $20 to $25 million range, I need more than 10 sacks on a season from a pass rusher that's getting 20 plus million bucks. And I think a bridge deal is a sweet spot right now. I think give him a 2-year at 18. Obviously, Rousseau's probably going to want longer term and more money, but I think at a Bills stance, you give him 2 years. You say, listen, we're going to give you this 2-year contract. You play it out. You play well, and we will throw the bag at you. I mean, at that point, a lot of money will open up within 2 years. You're going to have Josh with a restructured contract. Von Miller's money will probably be off the books. Trey White's money will fully be off the books. The Diggs $30 million cap hit will also be off the books. I think you probably don't do it this offseason. You wait till next offseason. You have Rousseau go out on his player option. I mean, that could blow up in his face. He could come next year with 15 sacks. And again, the money will go up. So you're in this weird precedent where it's like you pay him the 22, 23 range right now, and he could exceed expectation next year, and it looks like a steal. But he could also have an off year where he's got maybe 5 to 6 sacks. Because again, you don't know. I think, like I've been saying, Rousseau needs that. He is that 1B and he needs that 1A. I don't think he's in the stance yet to be that 1A. And I think with Vaughn, we're kind of on the fence. It's like, do you cut him? Do you not cut him? And we'll see what I think this playoffs will be a very big indication on if you're going to sign Rousseau long term. I think if Rousseau has himself a stellar playoff run, Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott have to really sit down and say, do we give this guy his money now, or do we wait it out and get a little anxious about what happens? They still got the player option, obviously, because he's a first-round pick. So, again, they don't have to do it this offseason. I think you have to have the conversation this offseason, because you're going to have, like I've said, the young guys with Shakir, with Benford, with Jimbo, with TB. And, again, there's going to be they did it with Spencer Brown, and it looks like a steal. They signed Spencer Brown last year, and Spencer Brown looks like one of the top 10 right tackles in the league. So, again, you bank on your player development and you sign Rousseau at a good number at the $22 million range, and you hope your player development works out. Or you don't do that. You go into his contract year. He has a contract year, and you price yourself out of a pass rusher, and you're back in the draft looking for another pass rusher, which the Bills have been doing for the past 5 years. They finally got one now. So it leaves the question up to you guys. What do you do? Do you guys re-sign him this offseason? Do you guys wait till next year and maybe he plays himself into even bigger money and it kind of blows up in your face? I personally do not. I'm on the fence right now. I think if Rousseau has a really good playoff run, I think you do sign him to that $22 million range. You give him a 4-year, 22 a year, kind of put him in that top 10 D-end money. I think he's probably worth that right now. I don't think you wait till next year. I think just with it being a contract year, he could really just get 15 sacks, and you're looking at a $28 million defensive end. And again, you can't put all of that money when you got Josh's crazy big contract. But let me know your guys' thoughts below. Shout out to Mike. I know you're watching right now. Shout out to you, Mike. Again, Happy New Year to all you guys. And as always, go Bills, and like and subscribe.